decades, Power Ranger fans have been wondering about the existence for this team, and they have proved to be one of the biggest Power Ranger mysteries of all time. They are known as the Gosei Sentai Dairanger. But you may have seen these guys before, at least parts of them. The mythical Kibis can be seen as the second transformation set of Zords for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, becoming their Thunder Megazord. And the sixth member of the show, KibaRanger, would be seen in Mighty Morphin as the White Ranger, along with Saba and the White Tigerzord. There was also Tor and a bunch of those other villain characters that pop up, but Mecha aside, we have also seen these guys pop up in Dino Thunder, at least their symbol, in some of Tommy's archives. And in 2014, we saw this team in full popping up in the Legendary Battle, as well as some Legendary Ranger modes throughout the season too. So who are these guys exactly? Well, today, all will be revealed. Yo, what's up everybody, it's Este here, and today we're finally talking about the origin of the Squadron Rangers. It's about damn time.
It's about damn time.
We're going to be talking about some info that has popped up in the Power Rangers universe lineup of comics. A 6-issue series exploring the origins of the Phantom Ranger, also his original name, the Morphinaut, get it? Morphin, astronaut. It's not funny.
Log off. Get out of here.
And his connection to the Morphin Grid, which results, of course, in the creation of the whole Squadron team. Which, by the way, spoiler alert, if you haven't read Power Rangers Universe, it's 6 issues. Or if you don't like reading, like I do, just stay. Talk to me. How are you? You may remember this team as being one of the new powers introduced in Power Rangers Super Megaforce, as they were part of a collection of mysterious Rangers whose legendary Ranger keys were used by the Super Mega Rangers, noted by Gosei as teams never before seen on Earth. That's kind of not true for the Squadron Rangers, you'll see why in a second. These guys are a Ranger team hailing from the planet 0117 of the A47 galaxy, which, another spoiler alert, it's just the Milky Way and Earth. They just named it differently. And this team is also a squad of Morphin Masters. That's right, Morphin Masters, the same type of Morphin Masters that we've seen in Mighty Morphin and in Dino Fury, as well as the comic books. It had been addressed early on that the Morphin Masters are the ones who studied the grid's singular nature. And all of them kind of have a Morphin heart on their chest that, I don't know, powers them up or something. It's part of them, it's the heart, part of the Morphin body. These Rangers have been buds for a long minute now, since they were little kids. We entered the Frontier Lab, which was originally the Morphinaut's lab before he got trapped in the Morphin Grid for almost 600 years. Also, I have to note the Morphinaut / Phantom Ranger, he's a Morphin Master too. Just thought I mentioned that. Fun fact of the day. We see a character named Orisanth trying to power up a portal called the Proto-Arc in order to combine it with Morphin energy. And in this series, the Arc is kind of the connection between the physical world and the Morphin Grid, which is kind of in a dimension of its own. But at this time around the universe, there has been a lot of destruction of what is Masterforges. If you don't know what Masterforges are, trust me, I didn't know until I looked it up, so let me explain. They are locations that harness the energy of the Morphin Grid and the Grid energy. These stations are scattered across the universe in grid-sensitive places, and each of them have a Master Arc, which, like I said, is the gateway to the Morphin Grid. It can allow direct transportation to the Morphin Grid, as well as transportation anywhere else as one sees fit. Can it take me to Orlando? I want to go to Disney World. So who is out there destroying these landmarks right now? Well, the one and only Dark Specter, one of the main villains from Power Rangers in space, known as the Grand Monarch of Evil. And this was his first interaction with the Power Rangers, essentially. And now their planet would soon be under attack too, with the inhabitants ordered to evacuate. The team would unite with Ori at their hangout to examine the footage of what happened at one of the Master Forges, and using their Master Hearts to power the computers after the power went out in their vicinity. And they would question the loyalty of other Morphin Masters in the area. Why do they leave this thing just to be destroyed so easily if it's such an essential part to the Morphin Grid? But before we go talk about the Squadron Rangers some more, we gotta become an E-Squadron ourselves. Join the E-Squad today by subscribing and ring notification bells so you don't miss out on any single one of my videos. And because I love the E-Squadron so much, E-Squad comment of the day, I love you guys so much, put a funny comment down below, put E-Squad in it, and you'll be in the next video. But after leaving the lab, they would look up into the sky to see all these different types of meteors, similar to the ones they saw in the footage, head directly over to the Master Arc. However, look who decided to show up after 600 years, the Morphinaut. He would shoot up a portal and land in the ground and say, guess what? He's coming. Who's coming? Dark Specter. Gotta see it. Who's coming? The 5 teens would go to rescue the Morphinaut and notice how his body is surrounded by energy. And that energy is the Morphin Grid energy itself. demons would start to invade their city in grand masses, with Dark Specter wanting to destroy the Morphin Grid by reaching the Master Arc itself. So this group of teenagers would grab the Morphinaut and go try to escape, while activating the powers of the Arc to repel all the demons that try to invade. Because you know, what's the biggest weakness of any Power Rangers villain? Well, Power Rangers themselves. But if we're gonna put in the most simple terms, grid energy. And after saving Morphin Master Tolosi's brother Zev, they would finally arrive at the lab. And we would see another Morphin Master named Rian trying to tap into those planetary sensors to do boop, 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 see if Dark Specter's forces are gonna come and, you know, destroy the world. So after realizing that the arc that Ori was trying to activate in the lab could be used by Dark Specter, they would take the Morphinaut and try to control his grid energy in a way. He's literally overflowing with it, so the only probable reason is to share it amongst everyone in the team. So now, at least the army is a little bit bigger to go against Dark Specter. The 6 teens would use their Morphin Hearts to help Ori create an energy surge and basically spread that excess Morphin Grid energy from the Morphinaut onto the team. And this results in these Morphin Masters gaining a full body costume, all thanks to the grid energy. And now they have a new mission, destroying Ori's proto-arc that we saw in the beginning of the series so that Dark Specter can't get his hands on it and, you know, take the Morphin Grid for his own. So now we're finally here, we finally see the team of the Squadron Power Rangers, but they're not exactly how you think they're gonna look right now. Because believe it or not, these guys didn't have quite the primary form at first. You know, it's really funny considering the Super Megaforce Rangers can transform into multiple Legendary Rangers as well as the Squadron team. We see the Squadron team transform into Legendary Rangers. So we would see Rian be the Red Ranger, Tolosi be the Green Samurai Ranger, Orisanth be the Zero Ranger 3 Blue, Fyro being Yellow Dino Ranger, Alea being Time Force Pink, and Zev being the Wild Force Black Bison. And moving on to issue 3, they would literally fully embrace that. We would see multiple pages on multiple different Legendary Rangers being tapped in by the Squadron team. Comic question of the day though, what other Power Rangers aspect would you like to see explored more in the comic? Personally, I want to learn more about those Power Rangers dragon powers that show up in Super Megaforce. I think that'd be cool. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to leave a like to lock in your answer, of course, because you know, that's the only way this is even true. 1,500 likes and I'll make more videos just like this one. And they're not just grabbing the powers of these Legendary Rangers, they're taking their moves, skills, knowledge, and weapons along with it too. And you know, some of it, when you transform into multiple Legendary Rangers, can be a lot on the brain, as morphing into many different heroes beyond their time is quite damaging to the team, as they're only absorbing this energy and not holding it for much longer. And so they created a casing that could hold all of this Morphin Grid energy, and that would be known, my friends, as a Morpher. It was the first Morpher. It was literally the Dairanger symbol. So now, finding the way to control the Morphin Grid powers in a stable way, they would finally morph for the first time. Red, green, blue, yellow, pink, and black Squadron Rangers. So after combining their Morphin Hearts and their individual capabilities, they finally have their own Squadron team of Rangers, their own actual suits. I absolutely love these suits, and I love seeing them in comic book form as well. But you also may have noticed our Squadron team actually has a Black Ranger on it that has never appeared in the Super Sentai series of origin. That of course is because the 6th Ranger of that team, KibaRanger, is already the White Ranger, so they need somebody else to fill that spot. So you know what? Black Squadron Ranger. It's original. But speaking of the Super Sentai, they would actually use the same weapons that they did, having their die busters that can become star swords and star cutters, alongside having their diamond rods, with each member having a different weapon part at the end. And in the final issue of the series, we see our Squadron Rangers fighting Dark Specter now as the Phantom Ranger. Yeah, literally, Dark Specter would take control of the Morphinaut and create the almighty Phantom Ranger. So now Dark Specter has access to the Morphin Grid, and this team has to stop him. However, the weakness of the Phantom Ranger, like those demons I said earlier, is of course that grid energy, and guess what? The Squadron team is full of it. So they had the idea to break their morphers and release their grid energy onto Dark Specter. And it was at that point when they broke their morphers that we see this team shift through many different forms throughout Power Rangers history, from Hyperforce Red to Dino Fury Green and the Black Mighty Morphin Ranger with the Dragon Shield. That's a nice touch. They would radiate the planet with grid energy, stopping Dark Specter for good, at least you know, for now, because he comes back multiple times after that. We know this. However, the Squadron Rangers have given up their physical forms, becoming manifestations of the grid. And their last act of the team was putting together the little pieces of their Morphin Hearts, providing the Power Ruby, and sending the Phantom Ranger out to the future. And that's crazy considering, you know, they're the first team of Power Rangers ever. They became the Squadron Rangers and they just gave away their power. I know for the sake of the universe, but come on, those stuff look cool. And this team would disband into many different paths. One would be leading the new Power Rangers, one would monitor the Morphin Grid technology, one would upkeep that technology, and of course some would keep the lookout on whatever Dark Specter would show up again. And that, my friends, is the origin and the story of the Squadron Rangers. I think it's absolutely crazy knowing that we had the Super Megaforce new powers. It was just a lazy decision by writers trying to adapt Gokaiger. They didn't want to make new footage, so you know what, just put the Dairangers in there. They won't notice. What do you think about the Squadron Rangers? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Dino Fuego. I'm also on Instagram, Dino Fuego. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.